Guys, we have a special guest joining us today, a international psychologist going to be joining us. Anne should be tuning in here in a couple minutes. James and I are sitting waiting patiently, so we'll start in a couple minutes. Once again, a $50,000 Maven account for one of the best questions regarding topics discussing today. We'll share this room. Check. All right, guys. Yeah, we're back. Been a couple weeks. Good to see James' face again. Good to see everyone's face again. As usual, guys, questions in the chat. We're going to get the best 50K. We're going to give a 50K account to the best question here. Anne should be joining us pretty soon here. She says she's just trying to log in here. Actually, speak of the devil, she's right there. We'll give her a moment to figure out her camera and everything as she joins. But we'll start off just with James. I want to discuss with you a lot of talk about the AI trend right now, potentially an AI bubble here. I've been doing some research, and a lot of comparison to the .com era. The .com era lasted 5 years. I think it was a rally just straight up for 5 years, and then it crashed like 80%. What's your thoughts on this? Is there any overlap?
Definitely. I think probably even AI could be even a bit more, in my opinion, from what I've been reading online in terms of like how many millionaires it could make. Businesses popping up. You're seeing businesses, all day, every day, brand new businesses coming up. So, I mean, the power of it. I mean, I use AI not in my trading at the moment, but
yeah,
I know. Yeah, I'm sure there's some traders that think AI could come into play there, and particularly in like daily tasks like that you need to that you want to do with AI, get it done for you. Like creating worksheets, stuff like that, and just game planning from there. So I think definitely has big potential, the AI bubble, 100%.
Yeah, I've already started using it a little bit. I'm playing around with some content creation with AI, and it's so silly to see, how quickly it can make a really zippy video, right? And this has only been a few years.
It does some of my content as well for me, like banners and stuff like that already, and you don't have to pay editors or anyone to do that either, and you don't have to wait for it. So I agree. I'm
gonna share the screen here because I want to just show some people. Maybe what do we got here? Window, trading view. Okay, trading view. Should be able to see my trading view here, and I just want to show people, maybe what happened. And I'm wondering, you don't do Bitcoin much.
No, but I do hold Bitcoin, but it's not like a day trade it.
Yeah, if we type in the NASDAQ, right? Because the NASDAQ was the big bubble there. We're going to use the composite index here so we can see all the way back.
Yeah.
Just back here. And you can see it was this beautiful, like it looked very much like 2017 Bitcoin rally, 2020 Bitcoin rally, just slow, gradual increase. And then you got these mega candles where you're seeing I don't know, 25% in a month, right? This one would be, another 20%, maybe even more, 20% in a month, right? 20, 30%
When was
in a
that?
month.
Back in the .com bubble?
That was the very peak of it, right?
Yeah.
And you have a couple of these pullbacks until you get to that point where, once you see these candles literally going straight up, I think it's game over. It's only sustainable when you have these, 5% per month sort of candles, right? These ones down here, even that's even quite a bit there, 10%. And you get this gradual come up before a complete blow off. And what happened was, you had this new era of technology coming out, and it was, basically just websites for people who might be, too young watching in the audience. People were basically making websites, and everyone was freaking out. Wow, this is going to change the world, right? And of course it did. It made information very accessible and made people communicate much easier, right? But the reality is, you were getting things like pets.com or whatever. I remember that was a big one, pets.com.
Sure.
And it was just nothing. They didn't sell anything, but pets.com made tons of money from their stock, right?
Yeah.
But it didn't sell anything. It was just pets.com, right? Something like that.
Sure.
Like, I might be getting it wrong, but this is an example. And everyone was in speculation that, hey, maybe this website will monetize one day. And then eventually they realized that they were buying into a bunch of hype and garbage that didn't actually make any money with no backing, and collapsed over the next, what was it? It took 3 years to hit the bottom. And if we look at the current data, you're seeing, hey, look at that. You have that similar sort of rally, except this is, like you said, so much more intense, right?
Yep.
You get this insane rally up, and we're not quite hitting those, massive mega candles yet. We are just kind of hitting those 10 5%ers per month. But one day, pretty soon, I'm thinking we're going to have an insane 25% candle, and we're going to lock in 2 years of profit in 1 month, basically.
Sure.
And then probably come down. Now the argument is, like, James, like, do you think that, I think the only basis that this won't pop is AI is able to back their company value with profitability. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like ChatGPT, for example, it doesn't make any money.
Yeah, I do agree with that. I mean, if the stock is trading higher, it's probably because the company has good financials, right? So, but again, like, a lot of the time, like, look at GameStop, right? A couple of years ago, where company wasn't really making any money at all, but I mean, the stock just rises. If a lot of traders are coming in and trading these AI tech stocks, I wouldn't be surprised if the AI bubble starts to just soar,
Yeah. Well, the question I'm wondering is, do you think there's any possibility that these companies are going to be able to cover their ass with profit, before it pops, basically?
That's
right?
a good question. Yeah.
I know. I was looking into ChatGPT for the specific example. That's the big boy, right? And they're planning to monetize, right?
Okay. Well, I subscribe to ChatGPT personally, so are they making money?
Yeah. So they do make little bits of money, but the amount of valuation behind it is, what I'm saying is they're going to start running ads, so they might be able to cover their ass, right?
Yes.
And that's supposed to be like May of next year or something, right?
Sure.
So that's going to be the big question over the next year, and if we can save the economy. Otherwise, this thing's coming back down super low, pre-COVID levels, sort of thing, right? And that's going to be detrimental to everyone's health and pockets. We got Anna with us now. Finally, we can see her beautiful face joining us here. I'm going to close out that stream there. Lovely.
Hello, everyone.
Great to see you again.
Great to see you. I had some technical issues. Tried to connect an external camera, but for some reason I had to install some extra tools, which I didn't have time for.
Yeah, no stress. We're bantering about AI. Hopefully you heard some of it. Do you have any interest in actual trading side of things, or you just do the psychology?
Me personally?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm trading, but I'm not trading Nasdaq. I know you've been talking about Nasdaq.
Yeah. What do you like to trade?
I trade just EU and GU and sometimes USD GPY, GBP GPY, but
Okay.
mainly EU and GU. Quite boring.
Yeah, James and I can definitely contest that we're not interested in that.
No, I don't think I've traded a currency in quite some time. That's for sure.
Yeah, totally. And
well,
welcome to the stream.
I'm just interested in making money. I don't need excitement.
Yeah.
Right on. Yeah, cool. I take it we were talking a little bit beforehand. You said that you might have a presentation or something for us.
I do, yeah. This is a presentation that I had from before on one event where I was speaking. So I was thinking it's going to be nice for me to have some structure to follow, because I'm a very talkative person and I can jump from one topic to another topic. So it's good to have some structure, but you can interrupt me anytime and people can ask me any kind of questions that they want.
I think that's what we're going to do. We can switch it over to this sort of style, I think. Hopefully your camera's good. Yeah, lovely. And then let's do this. No, let's do this.
Let me see if I can share my screen.
And then we'll get questions from the audience as you go, and James and I will obviously pipe up as well.
Yeah.
So can you see my screen?
I can turn it on here for you. There we go. Okay, awesome.
Right.
All right, a little bit of a treat for the audience here today, because usually we just kind of banter and talk bullshit.
Well, today we can still joke and talk about bullshit, but we're gonna also get some value. Yes. So I always say that your edge isn't your strategy; it's your state of mind while following it. You can have the best strategy in the world, but if you don't have the right state of mind to follow your strategy, it's going to be completely pointless. But if you have the right state of mind and you have less good strategy, you can still make money. So why should people listen to me? First of all, I'm a trader myself and a performance coach. I have consulted more than 40 prop firms. I'm working not just with traders, but also with entrepreneurs, helping them to gain clarity, build strategies, and level up their performance. And I've been studying human psychology for more than 12 years. Not just human psychology, but also behavioral patterns, neuroscience. So today we're going to dive deeper into not just trading psychology, because I find it interesting that people separate trading psychology from general psychology. How you do one thing is how you do everything. And today I'm not going to talk about FOMO or greed, because this is a surface level information that is not going to get you anywhere. I'm going to go deeper because that's where the real transformation happens. And the beauty of everything that I teach is that I'm not just studying theory and reteaching this theory. I have put everything that I teach in practice. And I went from being this unconscious, impulsive person, unprofitable trader, to climbing the ladder and going the whole journey myself and becoming a stable, profitable trader, and also helping others to achieve that.
I got a question right off the bat here, because you talk about consciousness, and it's something that we talk about every once in a while as well, is being conscious about the decisions you're making rather than just kind of impulsively jumping into something. Is there, just right off the bat, I want some sort of actionable tip that the audience can use that is going to help them be more aware of if they're over trading, or if they're jumping into something for FOMO or something, you know what I mean? Increase their consciousness so they know what they're doing.
Yeah, I think we can leave it because I have it in the presentation later, tools on how to increase your consciousness.
Gotcha. Okay, I'm getting way too ahead.
So instead of mentioning now and repeating later, I'd rather keep it for later.
Okay.
So
no questions then.
I mean, I can give you quickly, like, journaling is the first thing, but not journaling, I took this trade because of this.
Yeah.
Why did I get triggered? And going, like, asking more powerful questions and digging deeper. So a couple of tools are journaling, visualizations, somatic therapy, inner child healing. I can give many, but I can explain about them later.
Yeah, I'm messing with you, Anna. Let's go. Let's do it.
So we are conscious only 5%. Some people are even conscious of less than 5% of the actions that we do on a daily basis. And we think that we're conscious of more than we actually are. And that's why we are confused when we react in ways that we can't really explain. So what is sitting in our subconscious mind is feelings, defense mechanisms that we've learned in childhood, habits, beliefs, fears, everything. All of these things are sitting in our subconscious mind. And our subconscious mind there are different layers of how our brain is developing. The conscious mind is only developing once we turn 6-7 years old, which means that once we're born, our brain is like a sponge and absorbing all kinds of information without questioning what kind of information we're absorbing from environment, from our parents, from cultural beliefs. And all this information that we are absorbing are sitting in our subconscious mind pretty much forever. That's why it's important to bring them on surface and to understand how they're controlling us.
Interesting.
So
I got to remember that when I have kids, I can completely just ingrain anything I want in them for the first 6-7 years, right?
It's very, very, like the first 6-7 years of our lives are the most crucial ones that are going to determine how we're going to continue living. And there are people that change, but change is very difficult for many people. That's why most of people remain the way they are. That's why if you want to do the best for your children, the most important thing is how you're going to connect with them and what you're going to teach them, what you're going to be telling them the first 6-7 years. The attachment styles that comes to relationships and emotions and feelings are developed the first year, the first couple of months, and the beliefs and fears, all of this is more in after the third year. But the first year is the attachment styles, and then the rest is developing until the 6th-7th year before we start with school.
Right. Year 2 to 6, I'll teach them ICT trading concepts. They'll be ingrained forever. That's really interesting. I've never heard that before.
I made a mistake. While I was taking care of my nephew, he was just a few weeks old when I was playing ICT.
Oh yeah. Now he's gonna believe. Now he's gonna be an ICT trader forever. You've done him such harm.
Yeah. He's lucky. He's lucky that he has me as an auntie.
Yeah. Lovely.
All right. So the approach that I teach and the approach that I've been using myself is the different levels of consciousness that are studied by Dr. David Hawkins. So the map that you see here is the map of consciousness from Dr. David Hawkins. And the levels of the brain, how our brain is developing, is also connected to biology, evolutionary biology. So the first brain, the animal brain, is the lowest levels of consciousness. That's why animals are reacting on their survival instincts. Then we have the human brain, and then the creator brain, or the highest levels of consciousness, where very few people are, and very few people manage to reach those levels of consciousness, is the creator brain. When you are connected with yourself, when you're connected to higher source, whatever you believe in, and you are pretty much creating your dream life, as it's called online, in manifestation. That's what manifestation is. It's just reframed. Yes, reframed with some interesting language nowadays. So majority of traders are trading out of fear, out of anger. And we can see that all these emotions are in the survival paradigm, or they are controlled by the animal brain, which means that they are not conscious enough to see the anger as a feeling, but they are identified with anger. And that's why so they don't have the in the high enough level of consciousness to recognize the emotion before they react on it. And in order to be able to trade from a right state of mind, you will have to climb it. If you want to be profitable, you have to be above 200. And if you want to have really, really good profitability, you have to be above 400. And those levels are levels that it doesn't mean that once you reach, let's say, 400, that you're going to stay there forever if you don't work on yourself.
Yeah.
So these are energetic level, and everything is happening in an energetic exchange. So, for example, if you start with your bet, if you return, because in order to get to those high levels, you have to change your lifestyle. You have to be very cautious of your surrounding, of your daily habits. And if you fall back to your bad habits, such as binge eating, junk food, not exercising, consuming information that are not useful for your brain, this is going to bring you down. If you hang out with people that are draining your energy and you are not recharging yourself and filtering out all this negative energy, all of this is going to bring you out. So whenever I would say every single person has a baseline. And this is the state of mind where you spend most of your time. So there can you can be for a longer period in, let's say, acceptance, but occasionally you might feel anger, you might feel fear, you're gonna make a mistake, but you're gonna for example, every single trader messes up. Last week I took a trade that I wasn't supposed to take, but since I'm operating from higher levels of consciousness, I'm not beating myself up and letting this anger to determine my next trade. So this is the key. While people with a lower level of consciousness, they're going to let the anger to take over and to blow the account. I hope that's clear.
This is really awesome. I've seen something like this before, and I can really contest what you're saying. Is like I bounce around, right? Depending on what I'm doing. When I was doing my outdoor sort of survival trading thing, I felt so much love and peace all the time, right? But now that I've come back inside and we've gotten back into the rat race sort of thing, trying to keep up with everything, there's a lot more of that lower survival sort of paradigm that you're talking about, right? And
that's that's a really good
even exactly what you're saying is like, the unconscious decision. Like I stopped, I got a fast food burger last night. I didn't even think about it, right? Just stopped and got it. And now that's lowering, now I have more lower consciousness now because of just not paying attention to what I'm doing.
Yeah, and this is all correlated. People think that things are not correlated, but everything is correlated because let's say the food that you eat, junk food takes more energy for the body to digest and to process. And they don't realize that this energy that goes for more energy goes for digestion instead of in the brain for them to think and to be focused to take the right decision. So they might think, oh, my food has nothing to do with the charts, but yes, it has a lot to do with your charts,
everything,
and your daily habits and the people that you surround yourself with, your friends, your family members. Like people get most triggered when I work with people. They get most triggered when I touch them on points that hurt them the most. Which is their relationship to their parents or their relationship to their loved ones. Because sometimes they are the ones that are keeping us stuck in the lower levels of consciousness.
Or the relationship with the NASDAQ, right?
Anna, so you've mentioned a few points about like eating well, exercising. For the listeners, what are a few other points that can help with level of consciousness? In terms of getting higher up on the scale,
so a really good point that Hunter made was when he was in nature that he was feeling much more calm. So everything that comes from nature, even like when you spend time in nature in general has higher level of energy and it gives you energy. That's why it's recommended for us to go and spend some time on sunlight or daily light every single day, especially during the morning. Eat more natural food, not to eat processed food, because everything that comes from nature is has higher vibration, has higher energy, and it helps us to also increase our levels of consciousness, because higher levels of consciousness are also equal higher levels of energy.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
So
I noticed. I noticed even last weekend I had to force myself outside because I noticed myself slipping back down, and then being outside camping for a day, even though it was freezing, you start getting that energy filled up again.
yeah, it's normal for us to go back and forth, because life is never super easy and smooth, and you can never
Yeah.
you cannot have the best routine all the time. I'm
Shame.
also like traveling. I'm a digital nomad, changing places, and it just changing different time zones and climates is affecting me. But it's important to, once you understand how your baseline works and what kind of techniques help you to raise your level of consciousness, you just do them and you adapt really quickly. Another thing that is helping me a lot is, for example, massages. I do a massage at least once in 2 weeks, sometimes even more, depending on how I feel, because massage is releasing serotonin, which is a hormone that makes us feel good, and is lowering cortisol, which is the stress hormone. And if you have high cortisol all the time, you're going to be always in survival mode. You're going to be always acting with the animal brain, because it's going to be your brain is going to think that you're all the time in danger, and this is not going to let you take right decisions. But when you do things like going on walks, being in nature, taking a massage, pretty much spoiling yourself, this is what is going to help you to increase your levels of consciousness, because that's what's going to decrease cortisol. So this is not everything is correlated. Biology, neurology, neuroplasticity, everything is correlated. Once you understand how it works, you can understand that the levels of consciousness will determine also what kind of hormones you're producing, and those hormones are going to determine what kind of decisions you're going to take. That's why it's important to, first of all, be aware and identify where you are at, where is your baseline, and then start slowly increasing your levels of consciousness. And when it comes to beliefs, I will shortly start explaining how we end up being in the survival paradigm first. But for example, shame and guilt are two emotions that most people are experiencing if they have grown up in a family where their parents have been emotionally mature. And 90% of people, if not more than 90, have been raised in a family by emotionally mature parents. And it's not about blaming our parents for being emotionally immature. Unfortunately, they didn't have the access of information and resources that we have nowadays. But we should definitely blame ourselves for not doing the work to become aware of why we act the way we act, why we behave the way we behave, when all the information is under our fingertips. So
I hope I'm a parent, and I hope I'm emotionally mature.
James, what's your baseline if you had to guess right now?
Yeah, I agree with you. It goes through cycles. At the moment, I would say more to the third quarter tier, upper third quarter tier. Sometimes when I'm trading well and on it, I'd like to think I'm a bit higher, but it does fluctuate, as you said. I agree. Where would you say yours is, Hunter?
Pride for sure. just overly proud all the time. I got an interesting question from the audience. And I think I kind of know where you're going to go with this question. I'm going to reword it slightly. It was from Saul. He says, in your view, why do intelligent people make impulsive decisions? So I'm going to kind of reframe that to be, hey, if I'm an intelligent person, why what is the difference between intelligence and the higher level of enlightenment and whatnot? How does intelligence help you or not help you?
So it's like that. There is difference between IQ and EQ. The levels of consciousness are emotional intelligence, which is called EQ, and IQ is how smart you are. or how quickly you learn things. So they are not really related, but let me give you an example of how it can be beneficial. Intelligent people will be able to understand and learn what I'm explaining now faster and implement these tools, and that's how they can their progress is going to be faster and better than less intelligent people. Was it a good answer?
I was the exact answer I was looking for. Basically, you explained it so well. Perfect. Yeah, because I think a lot of people get stuck on the difference between, hey, I'm smart, why can't I figure out trading? Right?
Yeah.
I can see all these patterns. Why can't I do it? You know.
And another thing that I can add to this is people that are smart think that trading is not about being smart. It's more about EQ, how emotionally intelligent you are.
Yeah.
So you can teach a person the most simple, stupid strategy that you can find. And if this person is emotionally intelligent and stable, if we go back to the first slide, your edge isn't your strategy, it's your state of mind while following it. This less intelligent person will be more emotionally stable to stick to this strategy. And we know that trading is about statistics. It's about how well you're following the plan. And if you have a strategy that is profitable, if you follow the plan, you're going to be profitable.
Yeah.
So this is also another explanation. People that are intelligent tend to overthink as well, which is another disadvantage when it comes to trading. And there is some childhood conditioning plays quite a huge role in that. Many people that are intelligent are people that have had pressure from their parents to perform really well at school. And if they have received pressure from their parents to perform at school, they have received conditional love. And this is going to put them in the guilt or shame level automatically as children. Because if they don't get A's, their parents might criticize them, and they're going to feel either shame or guilt depending on the way how their parents are criticizing them, and this is going to become their baseline. So whenever they mess up on the charts, they will stick to these patterns unless they recognize them and they start changing them.
Mm-hmm. It's something.
Do you think pressure could be good at times, though, in terms of, you know, like pushing a child to perform to the best of their abilities?
It is important to do it intentionally and consciously. So not to, for example, parents that are putting pressure on their children to perform at school are putting this pressure for external validation. I want everyone to know that my kid is doing well at school. That's usually where it's coming from. But when the pressure is done from a point of view to make your child more resilient, it's completely different. So
Sure.
I'm usually getting questions from people when we talk about how to raise children in childhood. I don't have children myself. I have a nephew, amazing nephew that I'm treating like my child. And many people would say you have such a weird way of thinking when it comes to raising children and making them resilient. So things like what kind of pressure is, for example, good? Giving a cold shower to your baby or to your kid. This is pressure. This is uncomfortable, but you're teaching your child resilience. And show them at the same time that this is love, that you love them and you want to make them resilient. Train them to go for delayed gratification instead of instant gratification, but do it in a loving way, not in a way, not in a superior way. So whenever you talk to your child, never talk to your child from go on your knees, go on their level, and start explaining things to your children in a way that will show them that you do everything you do from unconditional love, not because you want them to perform for validation.
Sure. That makes sense.
Yeah. So most traders, let's say if they are trading from a level of fear, they will the most common pattern is hesitation. They might do the best analysis ever, but they will be afraid to pull the trigger. The people that have as a baseline anger, they will tend to revenge trade quite often. Pride level, over leveraging.
All the stuff.
That's about right.
Yeah.
DCA until I blow it all.
Yeah, and when you're neutral, then you're of course calm and you follow your rules. Many people also ask me whether I'm a mechanical or a discretionary trader, and when I work with traders, I always suggest traders to first stick to mechanical trading when they're in the lower levels of consciousness, and then once they develop love towards themselves and acceptance, they can move to discretionary, and that's how their results are going to improve much more. This is something that I did myself. My approach in the first years was more mechanical, and the more that I was climbing the scale, the more now I'm fully discretionary trader.
I just want to emphasize to the viewers here how crazy important and accurate this chart is. If you guys haven't taken a screenshot of this, you should definitely take a screenshot or find it somewhere online, because this
you can Google.
Yeah,
you can Google this map of consciousness, and it's gonna appear.
After a decade of trading, I can tell you with pretty much certainty, the higher I am on this chart, the better my trading is. Like, it's a direct correlation, and it's exactly what you're saying is, hey, if I have fear, I'm over trading, right? If I have pride, I'm just keep adding to the trade because I know I'm right, sort of thing, right?
Yeah. And this is also correlated to ego. So the lower that you are, the many people think that ego is just arrogance, showing you off, but ego is the picture that we want to present to the public that is not real to the ones that we truly are. So I usually call it having a mask on. And something that is really interesting for me, I took a training for reading emotional patterns based on face expressions and body language, so I can easily see through people's masks. And it's really interesting when I work with clients one-on-one to see how they are so certain about, oh no, this is the emotion that I'm feeling, but I can see from their face expression that it's a different emotion. So this is the ego, but I don't force them to say, no, it's not fear, you're reacting out of anger. I'm not pushing the statement to them. I'm asking them questions so that they can come to these realizations themselves. Because when you operate with a person's ego, if you attack the ego, they will never change. But if you start asking them questions and they start reflecting on the questions, they're going to come to these realizations themselves. So when you are operating from these levels, it's your ego. Once you start climbing up, this is you closing the gap of the mask and your true self.
And if you had to guess, what would be the biggest mask that you wear?
Me?
Yeah, and you can't say I don't wear a mask. You have to put yourself somewhere.
Let me see. No, I'm a very open person. If I'm, let me see where I would be. I mean, before I was wearing a mask of being the very strong woman. I didn't want to show any kind of vulnerability.
Yeah, sure.
But let me see where
I can see that being very present in the business environment, especially being a female, right? Trying to.
I mean, I had to I had to have this mask on in a male-dominated industry.
Yeah.
And like sometimes I have to put a mask on consciously to be able to not protect myself, but to save my energy. Because if you're trying to prove things to people and if you're trying to explain yourself, you're leaking way too much energy. So sometimes when I'm just tired of explaining, I just have to act like I don't understand or like I don't know something, and put a different mask on, act stupid, and move on. But I would say like my life-changing moment was 13th of April 2024. That's when I completely dropped off the mask, and it was a therapy with my inner child that allowed me to drop off the mask. So I don't know how many of you have heard about Dr. Joe Dispenza. I went to sessions similar to the retreats that he's doing, and it was definitely a life-changing session for me. And the reason why we wear this mask is when we have problems from childhood conditioning, especially the relationship with our parents. And I didn't have good dynamics with my father because he was a very strict parent. He was raising me like a boy. That's why I like adopted this masculinity and this masculine energy, and I've been operating all the time from masculine energy all my life.
Totally.
And I had to make peace with my father on a nervous system level in order to be able to drop the mask. Because before that, I was all the time wearing the mask that my father wanted me to wear. Not I didn't have the courage to show my true self. I was all the time wearing the mask that would make my father happy.
Yeah.
Sure.
Awesome. Let's keep going through here, and if we want to, we can actually extend this one because I'm really enjoying this. I think this is a really awesome presentation for the viewers. I'm not sure if James, if you're able to stay past the time, but
I can.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
no
I love
rush
talking
here.
about this.
Yeah, it's incredible stuff. It's something that once I started like touching on a little bit, like I'm not nearly as deep as you. It starts blowing my mind, and it really makes life make a lot more sense. And I do struggle with bouncing around a lot, going back and forth. I go in these swings, but it would be beautiful to be a higher energy all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be honest, like even though I'm so aware of everything and I know I have so much knowledge, it happens to me as well to drop down. But I'm very aware when I'm dropping down. Like I'm not dropping down without being aware of it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just know that I will have to go through some intensive period, and I know that the intensive period is gonna make me drop, because when you don't have enough time to reflect and to recharge, that's when you drop. And when I have, let's say, thousands of trips, speaking events, clients, launching something new, when I have lots of things going on in my life, sometimes I have to make the sacrifice to drop. But what is very important, I'm all the time wearing Whoop, which is a tracker similar to,
I was looking at that one. That helps, eh?
It does.
I love it.
Unreal.
I love it.
Yeah, I was thinking about getting one.
Yeah, and I'm all the time staying aware of I'm doing it with awareness. And there is different when you do it with awareness and when you do it without awareness. So when you do it with awareness, you just know that I'm doing this temporary because I have to get from point A to point B. And once I finish with everything that I have on my plate, I can recharge. So last month was a very intense month for me. And this month, I'm fully dedicated to relaxation, spoiling myself, and enjoying life.
So when you're traveling, you just fully accept that, hey, I'm going to notch down a few points and just go more autopilot, lower consciousness, and just get the job done.
No. So I do everything. I travel all the time. So this is pretty much my lifestyle. So I'm changing countries almost every month, every 2 months. But I learned how to adapt quickly. What made last month more stressful was I invested in one very intensive coaching related to social media and personal branding. So I had so many classes per day. I had so much homework. And on top of that, I had to deal with some other extra issues that were spiking my cortisol quite a lot. Some unpleasant events. And this was what made me really drained, because at first I had only planned to focus on the coaching for this month, but I had to deal with bunch of other things that came out, and I couldn't neglect. So I had to choose: do I want to just ignore the coaching and focus on the other things so that I can maintain my high levels, or do I want to go all in on everything and then recharge? So I didn't want to lose the opportunity of this VIP coaching cohort that I attended, because it's a really good one, and I decided to sacrifice my my baseline in order to be able to get the most out of the month. And currently, what I'm doing is pretty much every single day: sauna, jacuzzi, massage. I'm doing weightlifting. When I'm in very intense periods, I remove weightlifting from my habits, because weightlifting spikes cortisol. And when my cortisol is already high, the stress hormone, I don't want to add more cortisol. This is another mistake that people make that will make you drop even more. So if you are going through a very stressful period and you add physical activities that are gonna boost your cortisol even more, you are not doing yourself an advantage. You are not staying disciplined. You are sabotaging yourself.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And these are things that many people are unaware of. They think that they should stay disciplined with the gym no matter what, because of the hustle culture that is promoted online.
Yeah.
So I've been working with a personal, what you call it, a performance coach for the last 7 months, and it's definitely helped me a lot for those that are listening as well. Like it makes you aware to things that you aren't always aware to, right? I think it's helped me. Yeah. Blind spots, exactly. Yeah.
I got a really awesome question from Victor here. Is it possible to use frustrating energy to become a profitable trader or have a better overall good all around life, right? So using that negative energy, how could somebody use that for their advantage, or is it even possible?
It is possible if you understand what is the belief behind this anger, because the frustration is anger. So you should first identify the belief behind the anger and reframe this belief from a negative to an empowering positive one, and start training your mind to act from the empowering belief instead of from the limiting belief. It was a very, maybe not very good explanation. But let me think of an example.
When you use the word reframe, you sound just like my therapist.
Let's say people that think I don't deserve success. Let's say someone identifies the belief I don't deserve success, or I'm not worthy of success, or I'm not worthy of earning X amount of money. They should identify what is the belief. Where is this belief coming from? Who told me that I don't deserve if I don't perform, or if I don't do X, Y, Z? It's always coming from childhood. And once they understand, I learned as a kid that if I don't execute perfectly, that I don't deserve to get straight A's. I don't deserve rewards. And once you understand that the belief is I have to be perfect, you have to reframe it to I should do my best and accept myself as I am. I will make mistakes, but I'm able to correct those mistakes. When you reframe it to a more soft, empowering belief, that's when the change happens. So from going to I have to be perfect, I should not make mistakes, to I can allow myself to make mistakes, but I'm able to learn, to improve. That's what is going to help me improve. So it's all about changing your inner voice and your inner critic, changing the relationship with yourself, because the beliefs are the ones that are leading to a thought. The thought is leading to an action. The action is leading to the result. So when you change your belief, your thoughts are going to start being different, and your thoughts are going to be the ones that are going to change your actions as well.
Sure.
Was it easier to understand now?
Yeah, Victor's very, very grateful for that answer. He's showing lots of love in the comments.
Amazing. Happy to hear that. So programming is formed. As I mentioned earlier, our prefrontal cortex, or the analytical brain, the brain that is responsible for our conscious thinking, is developing once we turn 6-7 years old. And before that, people that we surround ourselves with, it doesn't have to be just parents, it can be grandparents, it can be your teachers at school, it can be peers, anyone, as well as cultural beliefs, content that you consume online, all of these things, different events that are happening, and information that you're consuming is creating those limiting beliefs that I just mentioned. And every single time when thought process happens, when there is a neural pathway that is connected in the brain, and that's why it's called rewiring your beliefs. So whenever something happens and you integrate a belief, there is a neural pathway that is connected. And when you become aware of this belief, you have to first identify it. Aha, here is the neural pathway. This is the belief that has been wired. You have to first spot it and then rewire it by changing it to a positive. So this is what all this fancy wiring and rewiring is about. And in order for new neural pathway to happen and to be strong, so that you're not gonna this is also how habits are formed. Habit formation happens through repetition, so that you can reinforce the new belief that will allow you to integrate this habit. And there is something in the brain that is called reticular activating system. And the reticular activating system is like the filter of our brain. So every single belief that we have tells to our filter to filter all kinds of information that will reconfirm this belief. So if you believe that people are assholes, you're gonna only you're gonna only find the people that are assholes. If you believe, it's also called the red car theory. Like if you want to buy a red car, you just see red cars everywhere. Or like this is the reticular activating system. This is the filter of the brain. That's why it's so important to understand what kind of beliefs are driving your actions. And as I mentioned, the beliefs are the ones that are leading to thoughts. The thoughts are leading to actions, and the actions are the ones that are producing the outcomes. And when we have different beliefs, this is what is creating the identity that we have. And the identity then leads to the behavior. So we have to change ourselves in order, I don't know who said this quote, but it was something along the lines, you can't expect different results with the same input, something along these lines. So you have to change your beliefs, you have to change yourself if you want to become a different person. And this might mean even doing the uncomfortable things, such as removing certain people from your life, changing the place where you live. It can be things that will be uncomfortable and that will make you sacrifice something that now you might think now that you don't want to leave, but you're going to be grateful to yourself later once you leave them or once you change whatever you have to change. Because something important to mention is that our brain is scared of everything that is unfamiliar. So the brain cannot differentiate between imagined and real. That's why visualizations and meditations are really important and crucial for consciousness. So when you want to integrate a new belief, in order for you to change, you have to start visualizing yourself with this new empowering belief, and you have to trigger emotions, because in order for a belief to the neural pathway to be wired, You have to give it energy, and the energy comes from the electrically charged emotion. So some people say, oh, if I just repeat positive affirmations, I'm wealthy, I'm healthy, I'm rich, I don't know what, it's going to work. No, it's not going to work. The reason why affirmations like this don't work is because people think that if I just repeat positive affirmations, I'm going to change my life. That's not how it works. Positive affirmations only work if you repeat them with emotion, because that's how a new neural pathway happens in the brain.
So how do you make the emotion behind it rather than just saying the words?
Yeah.
So that's where the powerful that's where visualizations come in. When you start visualizing, you close your eyes and you go inward. You start visualizing yourself. Depends on what kind of belief you want to rewire. You have to visualize yourself as this wealthy and healthy person, but you have to pay so much attention to every single detail of how this future wealthy and healthy person will look like, behave, what they're going to have, who they're going to have around them, so that you can use all your senses to create this vision in your head, to create this picture so clearly, so that it's going to trigger emotions, and it's going to trigger this happiness, this confidence, this gratitude. Because this future healthy and rich version is not gonna be miserable like and desperate like you are today. So the whole point is what I mentioned about our brain not being able to differentiate between imagined and real. When you go deep into the visualization, you're tricking your brain to see what you are imagining as being real.
Good old gaslighting ourselves, eh?
Yeah.
Anna, do you think
I mean,
do you think it's good to have something up like a vision board per se?
Absolutely. I have vision boards all the time, and it's unbelievable how much of my vision boards is happening every single year without me even consciously working on them. I have my vision.
Sorry, go on.
I have my vision board on my laptop because I know that this is something that I open every single day and I'm using all the time. And you want to train your subconscious mind, not your conscious mind, because you use your conscious mind, the prefrontal cortex, to create the vision board, to set the goals. If I go back to the first slide, goals, logic, they're sitting there. So you use your conscious mind to create these goals, to create your vision board. And once you create your vision board, your subconscious mind seeing this picture every single day will indirectly train your reticular activating system, the filter of the brain, to spot the opportunities for you to be able to accomplish the goals that are on your vision board. So let me give you a really interesting example. I had one tattoo that I wanted to make, and I had given a promise to myself that I'm going to make this tattoo when this and this happens. So I had the picture of this tattoo on my vision board, and I completely forgot about it. I have my vision board there. I'm not paying attention to my vision board. As soon as I open my laptop, I open TradingView, I open my emails, and I do a bunch of other stuff. And what happens is when your subconscious mind is just noticing these visions, these pictures that I have on the vision board, I went out in one restaurant, and all of a sudden I see one guy who is a really good tattoo artist. And what is my subconscious mind matching directly? I saw the tattoo as soon as I saw him. And what happened was I just went, I said hi to him, and then the next day I was already in the studio. So this is something super basic, but just for me to explain how it happens. There are things that are much more difficult. Anyone can go and get the tattoo. But things that are more difficult, such as moving to a different country, or what other example can I making X amount of money. When you have such kind of goals, you're training your subconscious mind to spot opportunities that you least expect to happen. For example, if someone wants to move to another country, by you having this vision board created, you might spot opportunities or messages online that are gonna give you the opportunity or a job offer or a reason to move to this other country that you're gonna list.
I'll tell you a crazy one actually is I did a big vision board, like a giant poster. This was 6 years ago, and the center of it was to own a prop firm. And at the time, I barely even knew what a prop firm was. This was 3 years before the inception of Maven, right? And I drew all the things that you need to get done in order to get that right. And I framed it, and it was absolutely beautiful. I got an ex-girlfriend to help draw it out, right, so that she has better writing than me. And then I framed it and I put it at my mom's place, hung it up, and I forgot about it, completely forgot about it. And then about a year and a half ago, my mom, she gave it to me. She's like, is this what you did, sort of thing? Like, she doesn't understand what Maven even is, but and it's like every little thing came exactly true, and I completely forgot about it. But because it was like this giant project I worked on, everything panned out eventually. And it was like even before like the new age of prop firms, right? It was just some crazy idea that came up, and it all worked out.
That's really interesting. And I have talked to so many people that are doing vision boards all the time, and they're impressed of how much of everything that is on their vision board is actually happening. And there is a process that is called quantum leaping, which is quantum physics, how to make things happen faster. And you can make things happen faster when you are on the higher levels of consciousness, the connection with source. But I'm not going to go deep into this on this live stream, because this is a completely different topic and even very deep.
We'll have to get you back on for another time and go
it's about physics, it's about particles, it's about energy. Like it's quite complicated. So a common misconception that I see among people is that they are thinking, oh, I can't change, that's just how I am. And just this belief itself is stopping them from actually changing and improving and doing something better out of their life. And the ability to change your beliefs and to change yourself, to change your identity, is called neuroplasticity. And it's all done with the help of visualizations. Like, everyone can lie to you about a bunch of different tools and tricks online. It's not everything that you already have is more than enough for you to make the change. You don't need anything else, anything extra. So everything is just in your mind. Here are a few common beliefs that I see traders have that have been integrated from childhood that are stopping them from being profitable. Many people have grown up with hearing their parents saying money doesn't grow on trees. Which is
grows at the Federal Reserve.
That's quite a big one. Something similar to me growing up is one of my parents used to say, like, money is the root of all evil, probably coming from the religious background, but you had to change the way that you think of it. It's not if you use it in the right way.
And a very interesting thing is that if you, let's say, didn't question this belief, you would have sabotaged yourself every single time you make money, because you are going to think that you're betraying your parents by having money, but by making money, because you're going to be identified as a bad person if you are wealthy. So that's why it's really important to question every single belief and to understand where everything is coming from. Money doesn't grow on trees is a very common thing that creates a scarcity mindset, and people think that they will have to work hard in order to earn money. And what happens is a trader sitting in front of the charts whole day waiting for a setup, and them thinking that just because I spend whole day on the charts, I've worked hard, I've been reading the charts whole day, and I have to make money. But that's not how trading works, and that's not how life works. So they sabotage themselves by the scarcity mindset that they have. Another thing that happens with a scarcity mindset is them not being able to reward themselves. They're very stingy. They wouldn't like buy themselves something that they would like or enjoy just because they think that money is scarce, that it's limited. And when you have such kind of beliefs, you're always going to have fear of losing. You're always going to shake when price is coming close to your stop loss. So I believe that many people that are watching this might find themselves in this with this belief. So if you have fear of losing, if you have fear of risking capital, and you're closing your trades too early, or taking way too little risk, this is a sign that you have this belief, even though you might not be aware of it. Another common one is you always mess things up. This is coming from usually strict parents. So if you have been a troublesome kid, then your parents have been all the time punishing you for being troublesome.
Mhm.
Going to integrate the belief that you are not capable, that you will fail, and this is gonna, of course, be shown on the charts as well, on your trading results on the equity curve. You're not gonna trust yourself. You're gonna another thing that is common with people that have such kind of belief is relying too much on mentors and never being able to become independent traders. So they might be perfect analysts, but they will never have enough self-trust to be independent. They will always seek confirmation from a mentor to tell them that they're right, that they can go ahead and take the trade. And where is it leading? Nowhere. Then another belief is, why can't you be more like your sister, your brother, your neighbor, your friend, comparing yourself with someone else? And this is integrating a belief that I'm not good enough on my own. This is something that I had myself. And this was leading to a lot of self-sabotage and me looking at other people's results and trying to chase
Yeah.
trades and to go for home runs so that I can get
That's a huge one
enough.
in this industry with the influencers and everyone making crazy amounts of money. That's a huge one.
Oh yeah. I struggled with it myself at the beginning quite a lot. And I know really well where it's coming from. It's coming from my father, because he was never saying good job for anything that I was doing, even though I was a student. I was achieving lots of things. I never heard my father saying, I'm proud of you, good job. He was always saying, you can do better. And just this little thing, I understand that his intention was the best one. He just wanted me to be this ambitious girl. But just this little thing of me wanting to hear from him, I'm proud of you, and me never hearing it, led to me sabotaging myself like crazy. And never taking a moment to show gratitude for everything that I've accomplished. And people that don't feel gratitude, they're going to be forever in the survival paradigm, because it is scientifically proven that gratitude is the easiest thing, that the easiest tool that can help you elevate your consciousness. So going back to what you asked me about tools, the first tool that is super simple that everyone can start doing already from today, as soon as you wake up, write down 3 things that you're grateful for. This is gonna do magic. This can be the first step towards your change. So next to your bed, next to your pillow, keep a gratitude journal, and just every single morning, as soon as you wake up, instead of grabbing your phone, just write 3 things that you're grateful for.
Something I do is actually I do prayer. And even if you're not a religious sort of person, prayer is a great way to release gratitude. And I do it before every meal.
Yeah.
Right. And oftentimes I actually pray for the things I resent as well. So all the anger that I have towards everything else, it helps release that as well. And it helps bring gratitude for everything.
I was actually playing golf the other day with quite a prominent businessman, and he actually said, if you can't be happy if you can't be grateful, which was quite a big one, So
totally.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Huge statement.
Yeah. And what you just described, Hunter, is emotional processing. And people don't understand that every single emotion that we feel, if we suppress it, which we have learned to do if our emotions, like children, have been neglected, it will stay in our body. And if we don't release the emotions, it's gonna come out as a burnout, as a disease, or something similar. So burnout is not something that it's not coming from you've worked too hard. No. Burnout is coming from too much suppression of emotions that haven't been processed and released.
Interesting.
Then also different types of diseases. Women that are struggling with hormonal cycle. All of this is coming from unprocessed emotions. There is one book called Your Body Keeps the Score. So for every single emotion that is suppressed, you're going to pay interest on it. That's why I'm not religious myself as well. I'm spiritual, but I'm not religious. Even though my parents, this was another pressure that I had from my parents. My parents are Orthodox Christians. And when I started questioning, I started asking questions because I was a very curious kid. And I started asking them a bunch of questions about religion that I couldn't understand. And instead of them giving me the answers, they would say, you should not question this. And I would be this mad kid. This is bullshit. I don't believe in this. I don't want to go with you in the church. That's why my father was also tough, because I was also I had this kind of temperament.
Interesting.
But
I did a very opposite sort of approach as I grew up atheist, and I started questioning things. And basically, I started testing things in the most scientific atheist way possible. Is what happens if I go to church, and what happens if I pray, right? And ultimately, life got better. And it doesn't matter if higher power above me is controlling anything. What I know works is prayer makes life better, right? So that's why I'm chiming in on that. But it's so interesting that two different directions ultimately end in the same sort of goal, right?
Yeah. For me, it was as a kid, when I was in the first 6 years, when I didn't have prefrontal cortex to question things, to ask questions, I was going to church with my parents, even though I had no idea what I was doing there. And then when I started questioning things, which happened once I turned, I guess, 10, 11 years old, that's when I thought that I was an atheist. And I lived with the belief that I only relied on science, because science was making logic for me, especially as a really good student. I was obsessed with chemistry, physics, all these subjects. And for a long period of time, I was only focused on science. And then I started struggling with anxiety attacks. I was getting anxiety attacks, like panic attacks, every second day. And it was coming to a point of me not being able to take breath. And I was living alone in Sweden. And in one moment I was thinking, damn, I'm going to die and no one is going to even know that I'm dead.
I've been there.
What is happening in my life? And that was a really crucial aha moment for me to slow down and to start, because I had already a lot of knowledge in psychology and neuroscience, but I didn't put lots of things in. I mean, I tried to put them in practice, but they were helping me just temporarily, not like lasting change. And I started digging into holistic therapies and reading about holistic medicine, old Japanese ancient techniques. And when I started putting those old Japanese ancient techniques in practice, that's when things started changing. So I packed my bags and I went to Asia. I was in Asia working on myself for 8 months constantly. And this was where the lasting change happened. And that's when I rediscovered my connection to higher source. I don't want to call it God, because many people relate it to religion. When I say God, I usually say universe, or higher source or higher power.
My peer group uses higher power because everyone's got a different one, right?
Everyone has the right to choose however they want to call it,
as long as it's not
the most important. The most important thing is just not to adopt beliefs from religion without questioning them, because religion is also brainwashing us in a way that will make them benefit from the crowd, of course.
Sure.
I'm not going to talk about religion here now.
We should definitely not dive that deep.
Yeah. I have my
have you seen Shinto in Japan then, I assume?
I'm spiritual. I'm not
Mhm.
religious. I have my own opinion on religion, but I would say I understand every religion, and I'm open to read any religious book, but I'm reading and looking at it from a different perspective,
Totally.
with different lenses.
Right.
I love Buddhism as well. Yeah. I practice yoga. So I think it's called omni something, when you accept all religions, but you don't identify with any.
I like that belief.
Yeah. Anyway, let's not talk about religion.
That's good. That's very accepting of everyone. I think we should leave it there.
Yeah. Let's skim through the other common beliefs, and there are many more beliefs, actually, not just the ones that I've listed here. Those are just the most common ones that I notice. We can't afford this is also, again, creating a scarcity mindset, and many parents are unaware of the fact that yes, you might not be able to afford something, but you should not say to your children that you can't afford it. Like, you should find a smarter way to deliver information or to forward the focus of your children towards something else, rather than saying, oh, we can't afford this. Another thing is, don't talk back to me, showing superiority towards your children. This is also bad, because it teaches your children or it has taught you as a child that you should not listen to your intuition. And intuition is very important, especially in trading and in everything in life, because intuition is your true inner voice, not the conditioned one. If you don't know how to listen to your intuition, your intuition is actually your body telling you the truth before your mind catches it, because our mind has limited source of energy and limited amount of information that it can process on a daily basis. With all our 5 senses, we can just process certain amount of information. So if we don't learn to listen to our body, which is also our intuition, we're never going to be really able to tap into the higher levels of consciousness. And this is usually coming from, again, having very strict parents that are not even letting you haven't allowed you to express yourself and to trust your voice. Really interesting thing that I learned way later than when I started putting tattoos. The first indication that your voice has been suppressed as a kid is if you are into tattoos and you love putting tattoos, because tattoos.
Tattoos. Okay, tattoos.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So tattoos are you expressing what you couldn't express as a kid, your freedom of expression that was not given to you as a kid. And it's really interesting how many things are related and how much you can read about one person by just looking at them and by just looking at their posture and their way of expression. But I'm not going to go into reading body signals now. Another common belief is emotions are unsafe. That's if your parents have been saying, don't cry, or stop crying, or you're a man, men don't cry. This is another thing that is very common among men. Or I'll give you something to cry about. This is when a little kid is crying. They're not crying because they're spoiled. They are crying because they need something. And many people think that, oh, my children are spoiled, that's why they're crying. No, little child is never crying because they're spoiled. They need something from you. And that's where emotionally immature parents don't realize that I have to meet my children's emotional needs. And when you don't do that, you learn that emotions are not safe and you don't listen to your emotions. That's when you suppress them. And that's what leads to burnout, anxiety, and different diseases. And it's like you just collecting more stress and pressure. Another common thing that is like a first indication of you suppressing emotions is if you feel tension in your shoulders, and it's really easy to release it by just massage. So every single, no matter how much emotional processing you do, we are emotional beings, and we operate on emotions all the time, and we cannot express all emotions because of different reasons. That's why it's important to check with yourself, check with your body, so that you can understand whether you can release emotions that you haven't had time to release. So always, if you have tension in your shoulders, know that it's unprocessed emotions and that you need a massage. You need to release those emotions.
I know exactly
Or
what you're talking about.
Yeah. Another, like, let's say if you don't have time for a massage, just squeezing your shoulders with your neck a couple of times, but really like squeezing, can make you feel relieved. Like, people can try it even now, and they will see the immediate relief that they can feel from it.
Or like a foam roller or something like that, like a tennis ball, maybe. Yeah.
So the root cause, as I mentioned, is beliefs that are leading to thoughts, emotions, actions, outcomes. I already talked about it. Something that many trading psychology coaches are focusing on, or life coaches are focusing on, is surface level things, such as, recognize when you have greed, recognize when you have FOMO. I never teach greed and FOMO, because if you try to control greed and FOMO, which are actually I don't know if you know about the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, but we all are naturally greedy, and we all have naturally fear. If you don't have greed and fear, we're never going to get anywhere in life. But those are normal emotions to feel, and those are not emotions that you should try to get rid of, as many not educated coaches are teaching. So that's why I always say that this is a definitely longer path. It's going to take you longer time to identify your beliefs, to rewire your brain with the help of neuroplasticity. But this is the only way that will help you achieve lasting results. You might try different techniques that different coaches are suggesting, such as the grounding technique, which is one of the techniques that is also implemented for the long process. But there is one grounding technique. If you feel anxious, you should notice 5 things that you see, 4 things that you can touch, 3 things that you can hear, something that you can smell, and take a deep breath, something like this. So if you just do that, this can help you temporarily.
So like bring things back to reality, basically, right? What's physically in front of you?
Yeah. This is a grounding technique that many coaches are teaching, and it's a really good one for sure when you feel very stressed at the moment. But this is not going to help you long term. Long term, the only thing that will help you is identifying your beliefs and rewiring the beliefs.
Yeah.
That's when you are removing the root problem. Because if you're cutting the grass is going to grow no matter how much you cut. You have to take out the roots for it to be removed.
Would you say it's detrimental to just accept these anxieties, right? Just be like, I'm an anxious person, and then being fully accepting of it? Because it's, I suppose, a different approach as well.
It's like, if you just say, I am an anxious person, this is a belief. I am an anxious person.
Yeah.
And this is a limiting belief that will never help you to get rid of anxiety. And
I'm just trying to like question maybe another possibility as well, rather than like fully changing a belief. Would it make any sense for somebody to start and say, hey, I'm okay with being anxious?
I am okay. Like, it's different when you say I feel anxiety and I am anxious. So people should not go with I am approach, because this is identity.
Totally.
This is a belief. But when you change it to I feel anxious, you detach from the anxiety. And that's when you, I accept feeling anxious is different from I accept that I'm anxious.
James, she knows everything. Unreal.
So this small tweak is a really huge, like, it's very important for your brain, for your mind.
That's awesome.
Your words have quite a lot of power. I agree with that.
and then you can be okay with that feeling coming and going, right? Hey, I feel it right now, and that's okay. I'm not gonna freak out about it. It's okay for me to feel uncomfortable right now.
Yes. So this is part of the process of changing. You have to start accepting the feeling, and once you accept the feeling, because if you don't accept the feeling, you're neglecting and you're suppressing it.
Totally.
But if you accept the feeling, that's when you start processing it. That's when, and if when you process the feeling, that's when you release it, and that's when you can feel calm and raise to higher levels.
Yeah, and then we're doubling down on that negative investment that you were talking about before.
Yes. Yeah. So the solution is, as I said, rewiring your beliefs and aligning your body, mind, and soul. And what do I mean by aligning your body, mind, and soul? In order, back to your question about how do we produce these emotions. If we don't align body, mind, and soul, we're never going to truly manage to rewire the belief. Because the mind is the thoughts, the body is actually the intuition, the processing, and soul is the connection to higher source. And this is pretty much what will allow you to surrender, what will allow you to detach, and what will allow you to have acceptance for bad things that are coming to you, that are happening, and seeing them as lessons instead of seeing them as something that instead of seeing them as something that happened to you, to see them as something that happens for you. Because every single bad thing that happens is not happening. If you say that this is happening to me, you're acting like a victim, and this is immediately putting you in the lower levels. But if you change it to, this is happening for me, what can I learn from this? Well, how can this help me in the future? Once you change it to empowering belief and you learn the lesson, that's how you grow, and that's how you elevate and you raise to higher levels. So you have to treat your mind, body, and soul like a plant. You have to take care of them. You have to show gratitude and love if you want them to give back to you. Many people, I don't know a single consistently profitable trader that is not taking care of their body and mind, mind and soul. I don't know such a person. Maybe there is an individual that is managing. We're not talking about the fat guys on Wall Street. They're like bunch of people are taking decisions. They are not individuals doing that. But I'm talking about retail traders that are consistently profitable, that are taking decisions on their own and doing all their jobs themselves. I don't know a single person that is fat and eating junk food and not caring about themselves.
Totally. White monsters and cigarettes all day, right? I gotta let's test your skills a little bit here. So Omar, I think this is related to what we were just talking about. He says, how do you avoid jealousy when seeing others profit more? So I'm going to reframe it a little bit here and say he's recognizing that he has this jealousy emotion. How does he get out of that? When you were just talking about, hey, I am anxious, I am feeling anxiety. What about this jealousy sort of one?
Yeah. So let me ask him a question. What is the belief behind the jealousy? They are better than me.
Yeah.
And where is this belief coming from? Who compared you to who when you were a kid?
Yeah.
It starts there.
That's good. And then, why does he believe that this person is better, right?
Because in the belief is exactly what makes him look at the other person and think that others are better. So when we compare ourselves to other people, it's always that we think ourselves that we're not good enough. That's why we compare ourselves to others. Because let's look at it this way. If you don't have someone to compare yourself with, how are you going to know if you're good or bad?
Yes. Yeah.
You're not going to know if you're good or bad. So you need someone else in order for you to understand whether you're good enough or
I didn't know what hot was until I went to Cyprus there. last summer. 40 degrees and humid. That's insane.
Yeah. So back to the person with the jealousy, it's a belief that you have integrated most likely from your parents if they have been comparing you to your siblings, to other people, and you have to start working there so that you can get rid of the jealousy. And another good, like you can use jealousy as something good. You can use this jealousy for understanding what are the things that this other person has that I deeply want to have. Because when you feel jealous and when you have when you feel any kind of trigger by another person, it reveals insecurity or a willing that you might not be conscious of.
Yeah, totally.
So let me give you an example of a person that I worked with. So this person was had one profession, but she was jealous of people from another profession. So this I told her, this reveals that you have passion that you don't want to follow. So this just revealed that she had a belief that she cannot follow her intuition, that she cannot trust her intuition. She has to follow this standard path that society or her parents has defined for her. And she was so unfulfilled in the profession that she had. Now she's changed and she's very happy, but she was not happy with the profession that she had. And when I told her that the fact that you're jealous of that person just tells me that there is a passion that you have to go for. So you can jealousy is not always just coming from you comparing yourself to that, because you have to dig deeper to understand what is this jealousy trying to tell me and what are all the beliefs behind the jealousy, not just I'm jealous.
Omar was very grateful for your answer, showing lots of love.
Amazing. I'm happy to help with it. I hope I'm explaining in a way that is easy to understand.
It's easy enough for a dummy like me to understand, so I think
yeah. So what are the different things that you can do? Journaling, but not any kind of journaling. Really diving deep and asking yourself super powerful questions. So noticing whenever you feel any kind of trigger, whenever you feel any kind of tension, whenever a simple thing as you going to the store and liking something and looking at the price, feeling like, oh, this is too expensive, and feeling some form of tension, this is telling you something and you have to work with it. So I encourage traders not just to journal their trades. Journaling your trades will only help you with your strategy, with your statistics. You have to journal your triggers, your emotions, what you do on a daily basis, how different people trigger you, how you feel after hanging out with different people, because this is going to help you to finally start understanding your limiting beliefs and to start working on the root causes. Once you identify those limiting beliefs, then you can start with guided visualizations. Not any kind of visualizations. It's important to make them personalized if you want them to really work well. That's why many people would go online and they would type on YouTube visualization to make more money. This is not going to help you. You have to make them personal. You have to make them real for your brain through your visualization in order for it to be helpful. Another thing, another tool is somatic awareness, somatic shaking, and regulation. So somatic shaking or dancing is releasing emotions through dancing. There are lots of different ways to release emotions. One being prayer, as Hunter said, massages, somatic shaking or dancing, different types of dances. So there are lots of different ways to release emotions. Then affirmations and identity statements can work, but only if you attach emotions to them. Inner child healing is very, very crucial because everything starts there. Like I'm 100% sure that everything starts when you were a kid. I use something called training your mental muscles. I help individuals train. I have identified 7 mental muscles, which is focus, decisiveness, imagination, endurance, empathy, courage, and self-distance. Those are the 7 mental muscles that I ask my clients to work on, because those are the necessary ones that are going to help you remove hesitation, get better relationships. And many people ask me, why do I need empathy for trading when I'm just dealing with myself? Well, in order for you to have empathy for others, you should first understand yourself.
Totally.
If you don't understand yourself, you cannot understand others. Another thing is, if you have a fight with your spouse, with your wife, with your girlfriend or boyfriend or parents, this is going to affect your decision making, because you're going to come with adrenaline and cortisol on the charts, which is not going to help you with your decision making. So all of this is important if you want to make it not just in trading, but also have a better life and be a better person. Metacognition is becoming aware of the emotions of your thoughts while you are thinking them. Many people find it very weird because it's quite difficult to explain it unless you really work with a person for them to identify what I'm talking about. But this is coming with the higher levels of consciousness. So catching yourself, that's catching your thought while you're thinking it. You're thinking, I want to take another trade, but you're thinking, oh, I'm thinking of taking another trade, so let me change it. So this is metacognition. And then there are different types of bineutral beats that can help you with your brainwave states. Very important to be very conscious of your inputs, what kind of content you're consuming. Every single person that is making you feel bad, I would suggest you to unfollow them. Ask yourself first, why do they make me feel bad? What is this revealing about me? And once you understand what is the thing that they make you feel bad about, unfollow and remove. Another thing is other things that you do in your life. Everything, scan everything possible. So have a practice of a week where you journal every single day. How did I feel after doing XYZ? Many people ask me, Anna, what is the best routine for me to become a better trader? There is no one size fits all, because we're all different. We have all different metabolisms, different hormonal production. So if I give one routine to James and the same routine to Hunter, it's not going to produce the same results for both of them. It's important for you to learn to listen to your body and to understand what works for you. That's why there is no such thing as the dream routine or the 5 a.m. club, and such kind of things don't work. There is no such one size fits all approach, and you should understand what is the thing that works for me. And how are you going to understand what works for you is by listening to your body and checking with your body. Okay, I start weightlifting. How do I feel about weightlifting? But not in terms of course, it has to be heavy. It has to be uncomfortable. I'm referring more to, maybe weightlifting was a bad example, but let's say I tell Hunter, if he's not into dancing, start dancing. He's gonna be like, "What the fuck?"
You're gonna get me dancing. I think with all this advice, you're gonna get a bunch of manly men trying to journal, dance, and do yoga behind their computers.
I mean, I have worked with guys that have practiced more feminine practices, and I have girls that have practiced more masculine practices, and sometimes it works better. Another thing that we are not going to have time to dive deeper into, but is correlated, is masculine and feminine energy, and it all comes also again from beliefs. Every single one of us has masculine and feminine energy. The masculine energy is what keeps us disciplined, what is goal oriented, purpose oriented, while feminine energy is the creative, flowing energy and the intuition. And if you don't have balance between your masculine and your feminine energy, you're going to be either too lazy and procrastinate and sabotage yourself in this way, or if you're too masculine, you're going to struggle with anxiety and burnouts. This was me. I was too masculine. So I had to work on activating my feminine energy in order to be able to do better and to climb to higher levels of consciousness. And it all comes to our how we've been raised. Like something that is very common from like clients that I've had that have grown up with single parents. They usually, let's say, if you've been growing up with a single mom, your mom had to be the man in the house. She had to
Yes.
provide. She had to be to protect you, and you learn when this is a good thing to actually share also for parents. The mom should be the one responsible to teach more emotional regulation and attachment, say security attachment with emotions, and the dad should be the one to teach the child discipline, resilience, and endurance.
Totally.
This is coming from the nature, the masculine and the feminine, because from nature women are born with more feminine, men are born with more masculine, and then the beliefs are the ones that are pushing us towards having one more dominant than the other one. For example, even though me and my sisters grew up with the same parents, we are three sisters, we all integrated different beliefs and different mechanisms because of lots of different factors, such as having different responses on fear. When we would get scared because of, let's say, a fight between my mom and dad, I would be the one that was fighting and going and trying to calm them down. My sisters were the ones that were freezing and going and hiding in the room. And those things are going to define a lot how you're going to respond in different things in your life. That's why I integrated this masculine energy more into every single thing that I do in my life. And this is what also led to my anxiety attacks, because I was all the time in the masculine and I wasn't activating anything from my feminine. I wasn't listening to my intuition. I was just going with logic. And you should balance logic and intuition if you want to have a balanced life and feel good.
Yeah, totally. We got maximum 10 more minutes here. So if we got any major slides, we can always get you back on in the future too, because this is really awesome stuff.
I'm done with the slides,
perfect.
so I can just show where people can find me.
Yeah.
I can also mention I'm working on another project that is a free trading journal, so people can scan the QR code if they want to get it. But you can find me, you can connect with me on X, on Instagram. You can check my website and fill in a form if you're interested to work with me. You can check my YouTube videos. I'm sharing lots of different things there that are not specifically trading related, but I always give a trading example in the videos.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can.
One of the best things I like to talk to traders on live stream about is exactly what you're doing is increasing your EQ, as you put it, right? Or those energy levels, and making your life overall better, right? Making yourself more at peace rather than trying to make your trading better. You know, make yourself calmer, go do the yoga, go do the journaling, but not journal about trades, journal about what's going on. These were some of the best things that helped me with my trading, whether or not it sticks, comes and goes, right? But that's the stuff that works for sure. Absolutely beautiful. Beautiful presentation. Should we tell Anna that we're proud of her? Or is that going to trigger a childhood trauma?
Thank you.
That's awesome.
I'm gonna go speak to my parents now, Hunter.
Yeah, go give your mom a call. I gotta go tell my mom over. Yeah, we had some questions throughout, so I think we might just wrap it up there. I've already picked the winner for the 50K Maven challenge, but thanks so much, Anna. We could get you back on if there's other presentations in the future that you wanted to discuss, but this is really, really great stuff. One of the best streams we've had, probably.
Thank you so much. I'm really happy to hear that. And people can share suggestions. I'm always really happy to talk about anything mind, neuroscience, psychology related.
Lovely. Yeah, we'll get if you guys have any suggestions of things you want to see in the future, you can drop them in the Maven Discord, and you can just tag me, or we can I'll be in touch with Anna. All right, guys, long one for you. Thanks for tuning in. We're going to be back next Tuesday with another. We have a trading guest, I think. Thomas Kello is joining us, right?
Yeah.
James? Okay.
Correct.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us, Anna.
Thank you.
Take care.
Cheers, guys.